what's next for Why Don't We? Keep watching the video to find out more. Hey everyone, this is Ruby here alongside no one else but me. But anyway, I wanted to make that a little funny intro just because. Anyway, so this video is going to be different from my old videos that I've done. Since we all love Why Don't We so much, why don't we just change it up a little bit? And this video is going to be about what's going to be next for the band, or what the band holds now. So you guys know the band formed in 2016 in September with the consisting members of Zach Heron, Jack Avery, Daniel Seavey, Jonah Murray, and Corbin Besson. So these 5 individuals were individual artists way before joining the band and knowing each other. A few of the members did know each other because they toured together, but that's all that there was before they became a band. So let's get into it and see what's next for the guys and what the band's future holds, because you know, we all are wondering when the boys are going to be back as a 5-piece or maybe a 4-piece or whatever, and we're just going to see what the future holds for the boys as solo artists currently and the band itself. So let's dive right into it and we'll see how this goes. So in 2016 of September, the boys have rose to fame on their first official debut album called Only the Beginning, releasing their first ever hit single, Taking You. And that album was the entire album that started it all, and so forth. And let's just say that album created a firestorm around the world, with many fans starting to make fan accounts for the guys in the whole group, making fan edits and all that stuff, trying to give like the best life possible as fans to the boys. And the boys were just so excited and livid, being completely unaware that they were going to be America's teen heartthrob band. And let's just say that this dream that they had of becoming big successful artists came at a major price, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. But yeah, that came with a huge price to pay, but we're just gonna we're gonna save that for later. Anyway, so yeah, the boys had started their rise to fame in 2016, and when 2017 came, they started to realize that they can actually go live and interact with fans on this old live stream platform called YouNow. And of course, the guys were able to interact with their fans even more when they couldn't go on tour yet. But they were just like traveling all around the world, performing out in public, even though it's not on stage. But they had really amazing fans that they loved so much. Fans would bring them gifts as the start of like a fresh new start for the guys, like, hey, like these are for you guys, just to get you guys comfortable with the whole band life or what that's going to bring to you guys. And the guys obviously loved it. I mean, the guys were excited that they were going to be starting like this whole entire journey with other people that they're going to meet all over the world and make a lot of music together, which is actually pretty cool that they all had like the same musical aspirations that followed when it came to making music and being in the music industry and all that stuff, which I find absolutely just amazing that they were able to get along so well. And like there was never like any disagreement between any of them. There was never any arguments that came along but while being in the group. However, there will be some mentions of arguments and some audios that I'll input in this video. But yeah, so in 2018 to 2019, the boys had released their album called 8 Letters, which is basically a pretty personal and major album. Like, I'll tell you guys right now, like their first single, 8 Letters, on the album really became more popular in like the Japan cultures, like Korea, Japan. Like it was just, the song was really popular, the album was really popular, I would say. And they got an award for that, for like the best like album that I think it was like the best album award, I think. I'm not really sure, I don't really remember much, but they got an award for that album, which I'm actually pretty I was pretty happy for them when they got it, because they achieved so much, and that album was just amazing. So after 8 Letters came out, the boys were just enjoying life, and they were just like happy that they were able to able to get an award for like all the hard work that they've done, not just from, you know, being like a boy band. Like, okay, yeah, being in the band does have like their ups and downs, but a reward comes with it. And honestly, that reward made them livid as ever. They were just so happy that they got it, because they were actually able to achieve something in their life, rather than being solo artist and not really achieving anything, if that makes any sense. So yeah, 8 Letters is really popular, still pretty popular to this day. And yeah, that's about 8 Letters. And they were still making hits. They were still making singles and whatnot that weren't really a part of any album whatsoever. And they just wanted to make sure that the fans were happy with what they put out. And they were just really excited about everything that was coming to them. They were selling out arenas. They were selling out tours. The tickets were selling out pretty fast, because many people wanted to see them and meet them live and hear them perform live. Many people actually think like performing live, their live videos were much more better than the studio versions of their songs, which I kind of agree, because live is like it really awakens you more than being in the studio and just recording a song and just like whatnot. They have made many music videos. They have some lyric videos on their channel, which I'll put in the description if you want to check those out right after this video. But yeah, like the boys were just like skyrocketing success, and it was just like such an amazing thing that these 5 individuals became together, became close friends, just became brothers in an instant. Like there was no signs of like any kind of hurt or like trauma that they have experienced, but that wasn't until 2022 when the boys had decided to cancel tour and go on a hiatus, and we're in 2024 now, so that's almost 2 years. But we're just gonna get straight into the hiatus now. Anyway, so the boys were through 2016 for their first official album called Taking You, to their final album that they would ever make, called The Good Times and the Bad Ones. And this final album really raised a bunch of suspicions about like what will be happening, what will be next, or if there's any kind of singles coming out, which the boys couldn't give really any updates because of any personal reason that they couldn't say until they made an Instagram post speaking up about management and how managing, like being in a group, has really taken a toll on their mental health, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But their one main manager called David Loeffler, who has supported the boys, well, not really much of support, I'm gonna say really much, have made the boys' lives a living hell while living in a rented house in LA, which really is pretty sad to hear. Zach, who is the youngest member of the band, who is 23 now, he suffered the most mental and emotional trauma, along with Jack, who is a dad of 1. He has a daughter named Lavender, who he was only 18 when he had her, with his former now ex-girlfriend Gabriela Gonzalez, or as they call her, Gabby. They co-parent her, and when the hiatus actually came up, that was when COVID was still around, so Jack couldn't see her because Lav was born in Hawaii, and she lives in Hawaii, so Jack couldn't see her as much as he really wanted to because of management. David wouldn't let them leave the house, so David was basically running the guys' lives 24/7, and we, us fans, were sitting just wondering when something was coming up as like a little notice, like when are they gonna come back, or when is new music gonna start, or like any kind of thing that will just give us kind of updates. And that's why these guys are no longer a group for now, and that's why this so-called hiatus or disbandment has still, it's still here. However, due to the emotional and financial abuse that the guys have been enduring during the times of Why Don't We was still a thing, they decided to sue their manager, David, and Randy, who was the fun manager, who was actually able to help the guys do everything. He actually cared for the guys rather than tear them down and tell them they're not good enough, and how they need to step it up, and how them eating is not good for them. You only need to eat small portions a bit, because that's how I raise my kids, and that's how so David was basically comparing Why Don't We to his own kids, which basically made me sick to my stomach. And there is an audio recording of David yelling at Zach for ordering salad because Zach wanted extra salad, and honestly the audio is really hard to hear. I won't put it in this video, however I will put a link in the description for that if you guys want to check that out. So these guys were just enduring so much abuse during their music times, and since after everything, but the whole lawsuit is still going on. Unfortunately, there was no court date that was set on when the guys will actually go to court and face David in court. However, the boys are working on solo music now, which is pretty good because they won't have to worry about being under David's management. However, people are wondering if they're ever gonna become a band again, if they will be under Randy's management. However, Randy loves the guys so much, he respects them much better than David, which all of us fans are really hopeful for. We're really grateful for him, everything that he's done for the guys. So yeah, that's basically it for David and the whole Why Don't We falling out thing. So let's talk about one member in particular that I really love, and he really needs to be talked about. Well, there's actually two, but let me focus on one right now, which is Jonah Murray. He is the oldest, basically the dad of the band. He keeps the boys in line, and he has really such a great voice. He does have some insecurities of his own. He finds that himself in one of his songs called Twisted Lullaby that was recently just released. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to listen to it if you haven't. Anyway, so in the beginning of the song, he talks about being compared to the rest of the guys. He can't dress like Corbin because Corbin got that swagger. He can't really sing like Jack, and Jack does have some really good notes. His high notes are just incredible. He can't really sing like Daniel because Daniel has this soothing kind of voice that he has, and Zach was basically the face of the band, as he said. And Jonah does have a lot of insecurities. He really doesn't like to be compared to his four other bandmates because it makes him feel kind of upset, and just not he feels like he isn't really worth enough, if that's what I'm saying. And of course, we all know David kind of caused that for him. He was always bombarding the guys, trying to get them to be better than what they were before. And honestly, it just makes no sense in how someone that evil can come at teenagers like that. And it just makes me feel kind of sad for Jonah because he deserves so much more. He's been through so much. I don't know if this was a few months ago, Jonah had posted on his TikTok account that he was going through a lot, and he was really just he wasn't really feeling it. It was just crazy for him. He was having this whole downfall. He had a manic episode, and you guys can see what personal stress can put onto someone, and personal problems can put onto someone. And honestly, we all know Jonah was the oldest of the group, so he had to live up to a lot of like expectations of being the oldest of the group, trying to keep the boys in line if they ever were to goof off in interviews. And let me tell you, there's a lot of interviews and videos that they're on YouTube about Jonah being the oldest, and he is just the most serious one of the group, so I kind of understand like his insecurities. The other one I want to talk about is Jack Avery, who is the actual dad, because he actually has a daughter named Lavender, who is the most adorable little girl ever. Just turned 5, and honestly, I'm just so, oh my god, she is just so cute. So she has Jack's last name, and honestly, she is just like Jack's like mini-me. Honestly, like they look alike, which I completely love. And honestly, like it's just amazing how you're able to, when you're born, you're able to get compared by your dad or your mom. And honestly, Jack just owns Lavender by facial expressions, by eyes, by face. It's just like so amazing. Anyway, so Jack himself does have insecurities, but the only insecurity he has is anxiety. So he has major anxiety. So if he ever met anyone, he would cry and he would be shaking. Basically, anyone who has anxiety before, or anyone you know have anxiety, you would know like how that would feel. And during COVID, he was having a really hard time coping with like not being able to see his daughter and all that stuff, and it was just tearing him down, because Lavender helps Jack able to function properly. Like whenever you have kids, because kids can be unexpected when you're in a band, and Jack was only 18 when Lavender was born. I'm stuttering so much, I'm tired, you guys. I don't even anyway, you guys, so Jack, being the dad, he knew like being like a dad took up a lot of responsibility, which led him to become less interested in being in the group, because he knew like as his role as a dad, he had to be there. He wanted to be there, but at the same time he couldn't, even if he wanted to, because David didn't want him to leave the house, because Jack and the boys basically became hostages in their own home. Like David would set up alarms everywhere. They couldn't bring any food in. It was just so sad that they had to sneak in food in order to be able to sustain a healthy environment, and not like be like, you know, like fatigued or whatnot. And it was just so sad to hear that. And Jack, being the most sensitive one of the group, he does have like a really mental I don't even know how to describe it, but he just has like a really warm heart. Like he's like the warm-hearted person of the group. Like he will tell you anything, and just like anything that's open and honest. Like Jack is like the honest one, I would have to say. Anyway, so when Jack was with his former girlfriend Gabby, of course, like Gabby never really wanted kids, but however, she did say in a live stream that Jack would be abusive towards her, which I completely believe is not true whatsoever. Jack doesn't seem like that type of guy to be abusive towards his girlfriend. Like if you see videos of like how Jack and Gabby were with his and with his other ex-girlfriend Lexi, who was now a mother, congratulations to her and her boyfriend. But if you see like the comparisons between those two videos, you can see how Jack is not abusive whatsoever. He's actually the sweetest, and I don't even know why Gabby would say that. She just wanted to say something to bring Jack down, knowing that he was going through so much at the time. And he knew that he wasn't abusive, and he knew that Gabby wanted this because Gabby told him. She's like, hey, like I'm ready to consent and have sex now. But she's saying all this stuff like how like if like Jack would remove like his condom off and like continue like with it. And honestly, and she blames Jack for that, like Gabby. Like, why would you blame your ex for that when you're the one who consented in the first place? Like, you said, hey, I'm ready to consent to sex, so yeah, let's have sex. That's what happens when you have sex. You end up getting pregnant. And honestly, like, sometimes condoms do break, because you can get like condoms that are like pretty, like they fit, but like sometimes they break in the middle of, like, you know, in the middle of intercourse. So that's what happens. I don't even know why Gabby would like try to shade him like that, when she knows deep down that that's not true. She said it, but doesn't have any like verbal proof. Like, you know, like, people can say anything they want about their ex, who is a celebrity or an influencer, and then they get canceled like that right away. And there was many people who was sticking by Gabby through all that. Like, guys, like, you don't know the full story. However, Gabby decided that it would be best to put all of the information out in public instead of like focusing on it in private, which makes me mad, because it just doesn't make any sense on how she can treat Jack like that. And it just made me sick to my stomach when I heard that for the first time. Anyway, so that's it about Jack. Let's talk about Corbin now. Corbin is honestly doing great. He's released 2 of his official singles. One of them is called Love. I'm so sorry. Okay, one of them is called I'm having a brain fart, you all. I'm so sorry. Like that. And what's the other one? I'm having such a huge brain fart. I'm looking it up, you guys. I'm so sorry. Love Me Better. There we go. I was gonna say that, but I don't even know why I didn't say it in the first place. I'm so sorry. So Corbin has 2 singles that he put out recently, and honestly, you guys, go listen to his songs. They are so amazing. Like, that is a recent one that he put out with Armani Blanco, and let me tell y'all, the duo blew my mind when I first listened to that song. Lord have mercy. So yeah, Corbin has mentioned in a recent interview with Zach Sang, he said that he doesn't really talk to the boys as often as he would used to when they were in the band. However, he still has respect for them, and he still loves to like call them and message them and see how they're doing solo-y, because, you know, they're also artists now. So that's really a good thing, I would say. Corbin still has full-on respect for each and every one of his bandmates, which is good. Honestly, like, he is the wholesome one, because he cares about a lot of people, including his bandmates, which is absolutely great. Let's talk about Zach on the other hand. Zach just turned 23, and he is a solo artist currently. He is teasing out his new 2 new songs called Waterfall and Caroline, which those 2 songs are just amazing. I am so sorry. And he is just doing great for himself, teasing his new music. The new music just sounds really good. Can't wait for him to put it out. Yeah, that's kind of it for Zach. Then the last one but not least, we're gonna talk about Daniel, who is doing so good solo. He is going on tour with Bess and Bone, which I listened to Besson's songs before, and let me tell you how much I enjoy his songs. I would have to say, what is his In the Stars? I would have to say that would be his most top favorite song that I like by him, which I just completely cry anytime that I hear that song. I don't even know why, but he is just a great artist that I really support. You guys don't follow him, I'll put his YouTube in the description if you want to check that out. So yeah, Daniel's doing good for himself, and I am just like over the moon and top excited. Jonah has released 2 songs called Heaven and Twisted Lullaby. If you want to go check that out, link is in the description. So any links to the voice song will be in the description, and interviews that I've actually mentioned about the boys, so that will be in the description too. The audio of David yelling at Zach, that'll be in the description as well. Honestly, like, these guys have been through so much, the highs and lows, the good times and the bad ones, you guys. And actually, the fun fact about Corbin's song, Love Me Better, I'm so sorry. I'm getting Love Back by Why Don't We and Love Me Better by Corbin mixed up. I'm so sorry. So actually, a fun fact about that song, the guys as a whole 5-piece were actually that was supposed to be the guys' final single, or maybe part of the Good Times and the Bad Ones album, maybe, I don't know, but it was said that that was supposed to be like their final single before going on hiatus. And unfortunately, they weren't able to record it, so Corbin took it upon himself to write the song and have the guys sing backup, since it was supposed to be their final single, which I completely think that it was a really good idea for Corbin to step up and release the song as like an honor of the group, knowing that it was going to be their final single in 2022 before the next year and the next years and so on. And Corbin sounds really good on that track as the main singer and with the boys singing backup. I actually did a vocal analysis video on that, which that song was actually pretty hard to do because Corbin sang the whole entire song and the guys were singing backup, so it was kind of hard to interpret who was singing what. However, I did get some backing vocals that were pretty clear. If you want to go check that out, link in the description. I need to stop plugging in my videos. But anyway, yeah, so that's a fun fact about Corbin's song. So let's talk about the band in general. So what will the future hold for Why Don't We? Honestly, you guys, we can't assume much. What I am going to say is this: how they really deserve the world that they are given. They were really, the world that they thought it was literally stolen from them by their manager. I mean, like, how can you abuse like 5 intelligent people that you're supposedly working for? David only cared about the money and that was it. Like, he didn't care about the guys at all. Randy was the only one who cared about the guys, and honestly, it was just pretty shocking. But if you guys follow the band account, you would see like there have been posts on their on the band account story, which leaves fans pretty speechless and pretty sad, because we always think that the boys are going to come back as a 5-piece, or maybe announce that, hey, Why Don't We is back. But at the same time, only Corbin and Jonah use that account just to promote their solo music. And let me tell you, when Corbin posted on that Why Don't We band account, I was just so shocked, and I was also sad because they really need to stop playing with us for real. Anyway, you guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I honestly hope you guys enjoyed it. There'll be more videos like this in the near future, I hope, if there's gonna be any updates on it. And yeah, you guys, I am hopping off right now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you all so much. Bye.